The country may see higher COVID-19 cases in the coming days as the health department moves to include rapid antigen positives in the official tally. DOH logged more than 100 COVID-19 deaths today, the highest since mid-February. Transportation officials observed a drastic drop in the volume of passengers on the last workday this Holy Week. Despite the global supply problems, the private sector is still expecting to receive the COVID-19 vaccines it ordered on time. And wondering when will your time be when will your time come in the government inoculation drive? One group of engineers developed a vaccine calculator to help estimate just that. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. COVID-19 cases are expected to spike up further as the health department plans to augment testing with antigen tests. Greg Gregorio is reporting to us live from Antipolo for more details on this story. Greg, what is the rationale of the government for this?
He said the Department of Health will now be using antigen testing for faster detection of COVID-19 individuals in high risk in areas with high transmission rate of COVID-19, especially within the NCR Plus. Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere says existing guidelines allow the use of antigen tests in areas with outbreaks. They will use this on people who have symptoms, possible exposure to COVID, and those who are close contacts of a positive case. An RT-PCR test will no longer be carried out for confirmation once a person tests positive. Now that antigen test results will be included in the official COVID-19 bulletin, the DOH expects an increase in cases, but they will separate those subjected to antigen test from those who underwent the standard RT-PCR method. For now, the procurement of 500,000 antigen test kits is underway, some 30,000 of which may arrive soon. On top of this, the World Health Organization will give about 20,000 kits to the Philippines. Antigen tests detect the presence of a special viral antigen, which implies current viral infection. Let's hear more from the Department of Health.
Hindi pa rin po natin pwede gamitin ang antigen test doon sa mga screening na ginagawa natin, katulad niyang pupunta kayo sa isang establishment, pupunta kayo sa trabaho at iyan ang ginagamit. Hindi ho yan ang indikasyon na sinasabi natin sa ngayon. Gagamitin para sa mga komunidad, para pag ginawa natin yung house-to-house, mas mabilis po nating na-extract ang mga pasyente or individuals at makakapagtulong sa pagputol po ng transmission.
Riza Vergere also says that IATF will meet on Saturday to determine whether or not the current implemented enhanced community quarantine or ECQ over NCR Plus will be extended. The DOH though earlier explained that the result of 1 week ECQ may only be seen in the coming weeks after April 4. Riza?
Thank you for that report. That's Greg Gregorio reporting live from Antipolo City. Meanwhile, the health department recorded more than 6,100 new COVID-19 infections today. This brought the total case load to above 747,000, some 130,000 of which are still considered active. More than 100 COVID-19 patients died overnight, pushing the death toll to nearly 13,300. Now, overall recoveries now stand at more than 603,700, with almost 500 new survivors logged in the past 24 hours. Baguio City Mayor and contact tracing czar Benjamin Magalong is expected to join us later. We'll get back on that story, but we'll be pausing for a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us. Good afternoon. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Fewer motorists and commuters are traveling back to their provinces for the Holy Week due to the reimposition of stricter quarantine status in the NCR Plus. Gerard De La Peña is joining us live from Mandaluyong for more details. Gerard?
Well, Riza, this year's Holy Week is pretty much like last year when the entire Luzon was placed under an enhanced community quarantine. Transport terminals are not jam-packed while expressways are not congested compared to pre-pandemic years. Well, traffic is fast-moving in expressways such as the North Luzon Expressway, Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway, Cavite-Laguna Expressway, and Cavitex. An official from the Metro Pacific Tollway said they did not observe heavier volume of vehicles in the expressway. The toll operator explained that some motorists had already left Metro Manila before it was reverted to an ECQ status. This is why they are not expecting the number of vehicles flying the expressway to increase today, the last working day for Holy Week. Checkpoints also made motorists to think twice before traveling. Toll plazas remain open but on a limited capacity of 50 to 60% as vehicular volume declined by 20 to 35% compared to pre-pandemic years. The MPTC is in close coordination with the Philippine National Police for setup of checkpoints as well as monitoring along expressway. The Parañaque Integrated Thermal Exchange is likewise seeing a drastic drop in passenger volume. Despite expecting more passengers to arrive in the terminal for the Holy Week, PTEC said that the passenger volume has reached around 75,000 daily in the previous weeks, but this number dropped to as low as 16,000 over the past few days due to the ECQ. While there are still some trips going to provinces, some provincial bus operators have decided to cancel trips as it would not be viable for them to push through with it due to the 50% maximum capacity in PUVs. Rizal authorities are advising those who intend to go out of town during the Holy Week to always be mindful of the checkpoints as well as prepare the necessary documents and IDs before leaving. Riza.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's Gerard De La Peña reporting live from Mandaluyong. Now, COVID-19 vaccines procured by the private sector through the government will still be delivered on time. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, told Business World Live that the first shipment of AstraZeneca vaccines for the private sector is expected by May or June. Once received, Concepcion said companies are free to create their priority list, but still following the government in principle. In terms of confidence, more members of the private workforce are now confident in the shots as influenced by their employers.
To see their bosses being vaccinated, they are reassured that the vaccines have the best efficacy and safety. We intend to really campaign harder so that everybody in our company will want to take the vaccine, and I think that's possible.
Curious about where you stand in the government's vaccination line? One group of engineers from the University of the Philippines and the De La Salle University developed a calculator to help you measure just that. Mobile Journal, Pam Castro with the story.
Like it or not, some of us are just allergic to math. But UP Los Baños Civil Engineering graduate Kenneth Alhambra thought, why not use math to answer the most asked question of all? When do I get my COVID vaccine shots?
And so Alhambra teamed up with Reyna Sagnip of DLSU Manila to create the Philippine Vaccine Q Calculator.
It's just used to know kung pang ilan ka sa pila and kung kailan mo makukuha yung first and second dose ng vaccine mo based on the given or the provided data that you can get online or through DOH.
The calculator tells you where you are in the long line of 108 million people who are to be vaccinated, or 70 million if the government is just aiming for herd immunity. Whatever the case is, the calculator tells you how many are in front of you in the line and estimates how long it could take before you get your jab. The calculations are based on the government's national priority list and its target vaccination rate as well as the available data about the number of people for each priority group. Of course, this all assumes that the government follows the priority list and no one jumps the line. To use the calculator, you just go to their website OmniCalculator, enter your age, and answer the questions based on your profession, health condition, and risk factors. Plug it all in, and the calculator does all the work. It says here that there are more or less 14 million people in front of me in the queue. And given the vaccination rate and uptake, I should be receiving my first dose between August 29 and September 1, 2021, while my second shot would be between September 19 and September 22. But of course, the calculator also assumes that the government is meeting its target of 1.28 million vaccinations per week, not its actual rate of 110 to 120,000 a week. So until the government starts meeting its vaccination targets, allow for a lot of lag time. Kenneth also added that another goal of this calculator is to see whether the national vaccination plan is really being followed.
We just want to help the people to make rational decisions based on the numbers that we can get.
Due to the limited supply of vaccines, not everybody can get vaccinated immediately, and this can be frustrating. But by prioritizing individuals, lives would be saved, especially those that are most vulnerable from the virus. And whether you are at the front of the queue or a few million people behind, remember it's still important to keep wearing that mask and face shield. I'm Pamela Vasquez and we are One News.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.